वेलकम गाइस। सो दिस इज योर बॉय समीर। सो ये थोड़ी डिफरेंट टाइप की वीडियो होने वाली है। यूजुअली आई अपलोड गेम प्ले वीडियोज हियर, बट इफ यू गाइस डोंट नो, आई एम ऑल्सो अ सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर। सो ये चीज़ मैं स्टार्ट करना चाहता हूँ, थोड़े से टेक रिलेटेड वीडियोस। सो टुडे विल बी चेकिंग आउट आर स्लैश प्रोग्रामिंग। सो जिन लोगों को नहीं पता, आर स्लैश प्रोग्रामिंग एज ए सब रेडिट जिसमें तुम्हें बहुत सारे टेक रिलेटेड पोस्ट मिलते हैं। सो आई रिलाई ऑन इट फॉर अ लॉट ऑफ गुड आर्टिकल्स जो लोग पोस्ट करते हैं यहाँ पे, एंड लॉट ऑफ टेक न्यूज ऑल्सो, प्रोग्रामिंग रिलेटेड ऑफ ऑब्वियसली। सो मैं ऑलरेडी फिल्टर करके रख चुका हूँ टॉप पोस्ट दिस मंथ। सो एक 30 डे पीरियड में हमको आइडिया लग जाएगा कि वॉट आर द टॉप पोस्ट। सो हियर इज द फर्स्ट पोस्ट जो बोलते हैं नोट पैड प्लस प्लस इज 21 years old। ओके, क्वाइट इंटरेस्टिंग। सो इफ यू डोंट नो, नोट पैड प्लस प्लस जो है एक नोट पैड से का एक बेटर वर्जन है, कह सकते हैं। राइट नाउ जो विंडोज 11 पे है वो बंदों को पता होगा कि जो नोट पैड नॉर्मली हम यूज़ करते हैं जो विंडोज के साथ आता है, सो दिस इज़ द डिफॉल्ट नोट पैड। सो यार ये अभी काफ़ी अच्छा हो गया है। बैक इन द डे जो नोट पैड था वो इट वॉज वेरी बेयर बोन्स, उसमें कोई भी ज़्यादा फीचर्स नहीं था। अभी इसमें टैब परसिस्टेंस ऑल ऑफ अदर फीचर्स आर आ चुके हैं ऑलरेडी। सो देख सकते हो यहाँ पे तुम पेज सेटअप, डिफाइन विद बिंग, ऑल ऑफ दोज थिंग्स आर हियर। इफ यू कैन चेक आउट load of things basically, spell check, autocorrect. So it's still very basic, to be honest. That's where notepad plus plus comes in. So I've been using this for years. कोई भी क्विकली फाइल एडिट करनी होती है ना, तो यू डोंट हैव टू ओपन you don't have to open the whole IDE to do it. So for example, if I am editing just a settings.json file, I just right click and open with notepad and edit the file, नोटपैड प्लस प्लस एंड एडिट द फाइल। तो इसमें काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें तुम्हें मिल जाती हैं, लाइक सी एक्सपेंशन एंड एक्सपैंड एंड कोलैप्स ऑफ कोड ब्लॉक्स, और सिंटैक्स हाईलाइटिंग, जस्ट टू नेम अ फ्यू। इसमें तुम प्लगइन्स इंस्टॉल कर सकते हो, मैक्रोज इंस्टॉल कर सकते हो, थीमिंग कर सकते हो। देयर आर टन ऑफ फीचर्स। सो बेसिकली इट्स वेरी वेरी गुड सॉफ्टवेयर। मैं इमेजिन नहीं कर सकता इसके बिना रहना फॉर क्विक एडिट्स ऑब्वियसली। सो दैट्स दैट, वेरी गुड। It's 21 years old, so let's just try this. So ये क्या article है? I think it's linking to a blog post. Yeah, legendary journey of our favorite text editor. 2003, it was a simpler time. YouTube did not even exist yet. The iPhone was still a distant dream, and social media was nowhere near. It's crazy, guys, कि 2003 के एक साल पहले I was born. So that's been around since forever. एक कलेक्टिव एफर्ट होता है गाइस कि हाउ पीपल डू इट। इट्स क्रेजी टू बी ऑनेस्ट। ओके, वेरी वेल, आई थिंक आई अपलोडेड द पोस्ट। लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट वन। Linus Torvalds lands a 2.6% performance improvement with minor Linux kernel patch. यार ये चीज़ें होती है लिटरली। आई रिमेंबर वर्किंग फॉर a software which contained a lot of legacy code, and to speed things up by like 12 to 15%, I had to do, I think there was a one line chain somewhere. So ऐसी चीज़ की मैंने करा। So more context on it. So ये basically एक .NET application थी which was using a trivial logic for checking for something in a queue. बेसिकली एक एक्सटर्नल प्रोग्राम था, मीन्स एक्सटर्नल फंक्शन कोड था, दैट विल पुश एन आइटम टू द क्यू, एंड then this piece of code will keep scanning the queue whether we have a new item or not. So that was something like that. And ये क्या करता था, एक टाइमर लगा के थ्रेड्स को कंटिन्यूसली, एक थ्रेड डॉट स्लीप लगा के हर एक सेकंड में वो क्यू को पोल करता रहता था। सो आई जस्ट रिप्लेस्ड इट। आई थिंक एक फंक्शन था छोटा सा 4 या 5 लाइन का, एंड इट ब्रॉट डाउन द थ्रेड पूल यूसेज बाय लाइक ओवर 60%, आई थिंक। एंड the concurrent users which could use that function, the concurrent consumers grew by I think 100% or something. So similar kind of things thing thi, but I think this is way above my pay grade. Linux kernel, I have had some experience with it, but looking at the code and all, just because I was facing some bugs. So I have checked the bug regression, whatever they track those bugs in, and it's crazy, bro. how Linux is even working. It's a miracle, to be honest. इतने सारे lines of code है, and the whole world's infrastructure is relying on Linux only. Okay, the barrier no spec in a 64 copy 0-bit copy from user is slow. Instead, use pointer masking to force the user pointer to all ones for invalid address. The kernel test robot reports a 2.6% improvement in the per thread ops benchmark. With copy from user being used to copy a block of data from user space to kernel space, okay. It will be interesting to see if the minor optimization ends up having impact in other synthetic real world workloads. Okay, so let's check out the patch exactly. Instead, use pointer masking to force the user. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, so if he remove this line, if not, user should fail user copy and likely access okay from n. Okay, so अगर user should fail means user copy अगर fail नहीं होता, then it starts. बट इसको हमने कर लिया एक क्लासिक इफ इन्वर्जन. सो हमने कहा अगर फेल कॉपी है तो हम इस फ्लैग पे चले जाएंगे. आई थिंक ये फ्लैग यहाँ पर डिफाइंड है. यप, मेम सेट टू n माइनस रेस 0 रेस. सो इट्स ओवर राइडिंग अ पॉइंटर लोकेशन. ओके, लेट्स चेक इफ कैन डू मास यूजर एक्सेस from mask user access. So else if not access okay from n go to fail. Ensure that bad access okay speculation will not lead to nasty side effects after the copy is finished. Barrier no spec instrument copy from user before. So these were the things that they deleted. And okay, this is the same. These are the same. If likely not res return 0. Bro, I have no idea what they have done, but apparently it's masking this. It's defining this mask user address. So basically, instead of using pointer masking to force the user pointer to all ones. Okay, so basically what was happening was 64-bit copy from user function में the barrier no spec एक call हो रहा था. So let me find the barrier no spec. Okay, so this is the call. तो ये हम तभी करेंगे अगर इनवैलिड एड्रेस है, तो हम सीधा यहाँ पर फोर्स कर दे रहे हैं, वंस पे सेट कर दे रहे हैं इसको. I wonder why this else block is still here. Okay. So यहाँ पर का जो एंड वाला कंडीशन है, the second condition has been split to this part. Okay, so हम पहले ही यहाँ पे चेक कर ले रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे अगर फेल होता है तो हम सीधा इस फ्लैग पे चले जा रहे हैं, and we are not executing all of this. Kind of makes sense, but as I told you, it's way above my pay grade. So good for him, good for the Linux kernel. But हम तो यार Windows पे है, what we can say. But yeah, JetBrains makes Rider and WebStorm free for non-commercial use. A game changer for web devs. So guys, it's very good actually. So जिन लोगों को नहीं पता, JetBrains Rider जो है basically एक .NET C# की IDE है. I actually use it regularly for work, but definitely we have the enterprise license for it. पहले क्या होता था कि if you want to do .NET, you only know one IDE, you know. So that was Visual Studio. So this was the only IDE you knew for this .NET. तो विजुअल स्टूडियो में बेसिकली तुम सब कुछ कर सकते हो यार, C++ डेवलपमेंट, एंड्रॉयड डेवलपमेंट, एवरीथिंग. बट क्योंकि सी शार्प जो है माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने बनाया था एंड विजुअल स्टूडियो हैज़ बीन सो मैच्योर इन सी शार्प. द थिंग इज it does everything right, and it does it well. लेटर ऑन क्या हुआ कि आईडीज पीपल स्टार्टेड टू स्विच अराउंड. अब लोग बोलेंगे यार जो वी एस कोड यूज करते हैं दे हैव अ रियली गुड डॉट नेट सपोर्ट नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ द प्लगइन्स एंड द होल डॉट नेट नाउ बीइंग क्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म. पहले क्या था इन द डॉट नेट फ्रेमवर्क डेज what was happening, it was Windows specific, tied to Windows. But now .NET is very good actually. I think it's one of the best languages. अगर तुम्हें एक secure enterprise level code लिखना है then .NET is a good choice for your backend. Heck, even front end with Blazor. But people have mixed opinions about it. I like Blazor. Just to say it out there, could be a hot take, but yeah. So why did we switch to Visual Studio? Which we should switch from Visual Studio to JetBrains was ये भाई बहुत लैग करता है, सीरियसली बता रहा हूँ. ऑन अ मशीन विथ आई थिंक we had i5s on our laptops and 16 GB RAMs, and this will just lag. If you spin up like 2 or 3 Docker containers on the side, this will just start crumbling. And at the time we had like 4 or 5 Visual Studio windows open. We were running multiple projects simultaneously. You know how it gets. And during work we have like 1,000 Chrome tabs open as well. So the machines were struggling. And also Visual Studio will keep on going with non-responsive. It keeps becoming unresponsive. But the biggest problem जो हम लोग face कर रहे थे was there is a ongoing bug in Visual Studio regarding long names. If you go to this one, solution/project name longer than 60 characters is not allowed. और ये शायद 4 साल से चल रहा है I guess. So not this one. I think there is one separate big thread for it. If I could find it. So यार बेसिकली क्या था ना इन ओल्डर टाइम्स ऑफ विंडोज की तुम्हारा एक फाइल का जो पाथ होता है राइट, वॉट एवर यू ओपन इन योर फोल्डर, तो एक वो लेंथ तक के जाता है स्पेसिफिक राइट, C/user/Samir एंड देन ऑल ऑफ दोज थिंग्स. So the max length of that was limited to I think 64 at max. But the problem was कि यार जैसे तुम .NET में फाइल नेमिंग अगर किसी ने की है C# में, then these file names easily get due to scoped namespaces. They easily get very long. So this was a problem. But Linux या Unix systems में problem नहीं था. When Git came to Windows, that same problem was there. That 260, okay, it was 260 file path limitation. I'm sorry. So तुम एक registry values later Windows 10 के versions में लेके आई गई थी कि registry path से तुम इसको बढ़ा सकते हो, seemingly unlimited कर सकते हो. But then again, some programs like Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code still are stuck with 260 file path even if you do the registry patch. Only good IDE that did not have that bug was Rider. So we that was one of the things that I switched for, and it's incredible to be honest. जो experience हमको हुआ है उसमें it's like जमीन आसमान का अंतर है. It's way more responsive, uses way less resources. पर यार UI is pretty much falls into place, you know. Visual Studio की UI तुम देखोगे बहुत cluttered है. It's like it's been held together with क्या बोलते हैं duct tape and hope, ऐसे टाइप के UI elements are very disfigured टाइप की चीज़ें हैं. It's very bad you know, to be honest. But that's the thing, अगर तुम न्यू Vim यूज़ करते हो so people will fight me कि यार हर चीज़ के लिए बड़ी IDEs नहीं यूज़ करनी चाहिए and this and that. Bro, you cannot do like enterprise level C# code in Neo Vim. Again, a hot take people will shout. अगर कोई विमर है प्रॉपर या कोई Emacs यूज़र है तो नहीं, हम इसी पे करेंगे. You can obviously, but that's the thing यार कि तुम एक फाइल एक दूसरे फोल्डर पे मूव करने, भाई तुम्हारी हालत खराब हो जाएगी नेम स्पेस अपडेट करते तक. And you'll have to find thousands of plugins and this and that. For this you can just download it and it just happens to work. So that's it. Let's check out the announcement. I think मैंने पहले देखा था. It's very good. तो अगर तुमको नहीं पता तो विजुअल स्टूडियो वॉज ऑलरेडी फ्री द कम्युनिटी एडिशन फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम एंड पीपल आर नॉट यूजिंग राइडर एज मच बिकॉज ऑफ दिस. सो अगर तुम एक पब्लिक या शॉर्ट टर्म प्रोजेक्ट्स पे वर्क कर रहे हो या पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट्स पे वर्क कर रहे हो, डेफिनेटली यू कैन गो विथ राइडर. एंड राइडर इज way cheaper than Visual Studio when it comes to enterprise licenses. And that's a one thing that you have to keep in mind. Good stuff. Very good decision from JetBrains there. I think Resharper is still paid, but we can live without it. Or can we? In enterprise solutions, we need to have it. To be honest, it's too good to miss out on it. Okay. Next is I scraped 12 million programming job offers for 21 months, and here are the most demanded programming language. That seems really interesting. Okay, let's check this one out. Top 8 most demanded programming languages in 2024. So I like these kinds of blog posts. बंदे ने कुछ practical किया है and he's not speaking out of his ass. So let's get to it. JavaScript / TypeScript. What a surprise, guys. I'm not even. What a surprise. Nice. So this is basically talking about your Node.js and mostly front end, to be honest. TypeScript is the way to go. Although कि अभी थोड़ी सी बीच में कम्युनिटी में हो रही थी यार कि we will go with native JS. Let's fuck TypeScript. We won't use it. Just use JS doc for typing and all of that. I think TypeScript is a really good thing. The only bad thing about TypeScript that it is built by Microsoft. Again, but it's very good, to be honest. I've been using TypeScript for like 2 years now and it's way better than JavaScript, to be honest. जो छोटे छोटे पेन पॉइंट्स जो जावास्क्रिप्ट में होते हैं ना, टाइपस्क्रिप्ट रियली ट्राइज टू फिक्स इट. अगेन द नेक्स्ट थिंग पाइथन. नो सरप्राइज, आई लव पाइथन. फिर बोलने के लिए यही हो जाता है यार. पाइथन तुम अगर कोई भी हाई परफॉर्मेंस चीज लिख रहे हो, writing a web server and all, people will say okay, we will go with Rust and all of these things. But I can still fathom like Python. You can get away with Python for a lot of things. अगर तुम एक छोटा सा प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे हो, if you don't have many users, just use Django, Python, Fast API. If you're going to hackathon, just stick with Python. If you're college projects, you're doing competitive programming, I'd say Python is still a very good thing. But don't start with Python. I'd say Python तुम continue कर सकते हो. At parallel तुमको C++ भी सीखना चाहिए because it gives you C++ or Java. My opinion has changed over the years that Java is a better fundamental language. Better language to teach you the fundamentals because it features almost all of the things, but it will also give you some idea on design patterns and system design, which यार मैं जब कॉलेज से निकला I had a lot of trouble grasping because my path was C++. That's a story for a different time, but chat GPT and all of these things, still everything is built on Python. Very good language and the best to do prototyping if you want to just spin up something very fast. I think yeah, Python is very good. So look at the number of jobs there is. Yeah, it's a lot, honestly. So this was 651k and this was 408k. Crazy. Again, the classic thing, Java top 3 spot. No surprise, honestly. Like बंदों को लगता है कि Java is outdated and Java nobody uses Java, but let me break your bubble. Everything is Java basically. Everything around you, and it's been like that for years. And Java is not going anywhere. Java is very good actually. बंदों को Java इसलिए नहीं पसंद आता because there is a lot of boilerplate code and all of that things. Even when I tried Java, I felt like okay yaar, I don't want to do Java, you know. It's too much, honestly, and I think it's hard, very steep learning curve when you start with it, but it's gotten more and more better. Again, one of these things are Microsoft did not like Java, so there is Java have an enterprise edition as well. Spring Boot is there, Spring Boot framework. There's a lot of important things that run the whole software industry written in Java. But the thing was, Microsoft invented C sharp. See, if you use C sharp, it's like .NET is very, very close to Java. Every things are inspired, but now .NET has pulled through. It's way better than Java in comparison to features and all. Java is slow growing, but it's not going anywhere. So अगर तुम Java से start करते हो, if you're a college student, there is no problem in it, to be honest. 376k jobs. There are a lot of jobs. Again, very, very good. So this is a Spring. C sharp, as I said, if you are working in government agencies, you're working in banking, in banking, not talking about the legacy code, the newer code basis. If you're working in banking, if you're working in medtech industry, .NET is just everywhere, to be honest. See, it's very good. Basically, I really like it for backends. It's very fast, it's stable, it has a lot of security related things built in. बहुत सारी चीज़ें are going for it, and basically you can build anything in .NET. Like it has most of the features. So एक कहावत है यार कि जब भी .NET developers they go on a stroll and they look at other programming languages and they see, oh, that programming language has that feature, why should I not have it, and they just integrate that feature into .NET. So basically that's the thing. हर फीचर तुम्हें यहाँ मिल जाएगा. I have been using .NET. You can do game development, again cross platform development, app development, web development, anything. PHP, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest. PHP has been around forever. So basically PHP Lambo memes अगर किसी ने देखी है तो so right now PHP की जो पे है it's been a little down, कम होती जा रही PHP की पे. But the thing is, there is a Laravel framework in PHP which just raised, I think, $1 million in funding. So let's check this out. Yeah, the PHP framework for web artisans. I have never tried it, but good for them, guys. Like, it's growing. PHP again. A lot of the internet is still PHP. You know, people, there is a ongoing meme that people who make money use PHP. Yeah, JavaScript is great until you see the PHP guys with Lambos. So yeah, that's it. Let's check C++. Again, everything is C. To a point, everything is written in C. It's not going anywhere. This thing needs no introduction, however, but the demand is dropping. It will stabilize, I think. Like, there are a lot of things in C++, like whole Windows and stuff, Linux kernel at its core, everything. But there is a steady move towards Rust and all of these things that reduce the pain of using C, like pointer safety and all. So that is the thing. अगर तुम्हें पता नहीं है तो there is a tractor project, and that is being developed for US military to convert old C code base into Rust, I think. What is this opening? I have no clue. Yeah, DARPA's translating all C to Rust. You can check it out. Definitely very cool project. I think now is the best time to get into Rust. You are planning. Ruby on Rails, again, the web framework, 76k jobs. अगर तुम Indeed वगैरह किसी भी जॉब साइट पे इंडिया में भी सर्च करोगे, there are a lot of Ruby jobs. When I was in college, I skimmed through these regularly. Very good. One of my favorite backend languages, Go. It's fast, it's great, it's easy to learn, unlike .NET. So basically ये जो languages हैं, Java, .NET and Go, they all fall under garbage collected languages. So learning one of them is like you will get hold of all of the concepts of others as well. But Go brings a lot to the table. Definitely, a lot of Google stuff is written in Go. So if you're planning on joining Google, say, can definitely go learn Go. That was one. Uh, yeah. Okay, there's a video. How is this website so fast? Microsoft has open source a new cross-platform virtual machine layer written in Rust. This is interesting. I'm not sure what it is. Virtual machine monitor written in Rust. Okay, write code that is easy to delete, not easy to extend. One bug, 50,000 plus in bounties. How's index and this is a very interesting story. I covered it. So I think a kid hacked into Zendesk. I'm 15 year. Yeah, this is the thing. I'm 15-year-old with some programming experience and do a little bug hunting for free time. There's an insane story. I had found a single bug that affected over half of all Fortune 500 companies. Okay, all of them use Zendesk for their support and all of these things. This is interesting actually. If you spend some time online, you've probably come across Zendesk. Zendesk is a customer service tool used by some of the world's top companies. It's easy to set up. You link it to your company's support email, and Zendesk starts managing incoming emails and creating tickets. And handle these tickets yourself or have a support team do it for you. Zendesk is a billion-dollar company trusted by big names like Cloudflare. Okay, let's check out the Zendesk stocks after this. Uh, mm, I hate this AI stuff, bro. Like, is it even public? I think there is nothing. November 21. When was this dropped? Last active 2 hours ago. I'm not sure. This was like 5 months ago. Okay. Okay, let's not do it. I wanted to see something like this. Yeah, this is the point, I think. 6 months. Let's go. So this is the point where I think the whole thing happened. CrowdStrike saga, and it's climbing up still. Just crazy, but yeah, people recover, companies recover. We personally have always found it surprising that these massive companies worth billions rely on third-party tools like Zendesk instead of building their own in-house ticketing system. Uh, it's not surprising to be honest. कस्टमर सर्विस एक्चुअली यार तुम अगर एक टेक कंपनी हो ना कस्टम नेलिंग कस्टमर सर्विस इज अ फकिंग नाइटमेयर टू बी ऑनेस्ट और अगर किसी भी प्रोडक्ट में तुम कोई सर्विस सेल कर रहे हो देन देर आर लॉट ऑफ कस्टमर कंप्लेंट्स और तुम्हें रियल लाइफ एम्प्लॉयज यू कैन नॉट हैव एन AI डू इट फॉर यू you have to have real people employed in the payroll. So to talk to them and to manage these tickets and stuff, bro, it's like crazy. So having a support team to do it for you is like a big win, to be honest. कि मैं अपने प्रोडक्ट को डेवलप करने में फोकस करूंगा एंड आई नॉट गोना रिलाई ऑन नॉट गोना बॉदर फॉर दिस थिंग्स राइट. अगर तुम्हें कोई मेजर प्रॉब्लम है देन यू कैन एस्केलेट टू आवर टीम बट most of the support emails they go like if you're in the tech industry, say you are selling some small electronic device and people will just contact you god knows how many reasons they want. My device is not powering off or powering on after I take it out of the box. Just charge it bro, it might have got discharged. एंड तुम्हें लगेगा कि ये बहुत ही वियर्ड टाइप की रिक्वेस्ट है बट दिस इज वेरी कॉमन. I used to do tech support in my school, and most of the time, people just had to turn off the computer and turn it back on. But that's the thing, bro. People are like that. So it's not surprising at all. Your weakest link. As the saying goes, by the way, why are these headers not first letter, first alphabet capital. It's just killing me. Okay. As the saying goes, you are only as strong as your weakest link. Since Zendesk is just seen as basic ticketing tool, companies often set it up without much thought. The most common setup I've seen is forwarding all emails from support@company.com to Zendesk. Why is that dangerous? Many companies use their @company.com domain for single sign-on, which lets employees quickly log in to internal tools. Single sign-on जिनको नहीं पता, basically एक कंपनी का पोर्टल होता है, राइट? सो इफ यू हैव समथिंग एंडिंग एट company.com, सो अगर तुम कोई सर्विस अवेल कर रहे हो, लाइक यू हैव अ माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एज योर एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी अकाउंट, और यू हैव सम HR portal account, or you have some Adobe account. So instead of having a separate username, password and two-factor authentication on that specific thing, you can use single sign-on. So अगर तुम अपनी कंपनी के enterprise के walls में हो, then you can just enter your email and it will just use your existing Active Directory to sign on everything, the partners. By connecting Zendesk to the same when companies unknowingly create a potential security gap, Zendesk handles all the emails some domain is configured for, which means if your SSO system doesn't properly validate email address, anyone who gains access to it. Okay, so what he's saying is, @company.com domain है जो single sign on के, वो हर चीज support@company.com हर चीज Zendesk को फॉरवर्ड होती है. Zendesk हर ईमेल को हैंडल करता है फॉर द डोमेन इट इज कॉन्फ़िगर्ड फॉर, विच इज @company.com, support@company.com फॉर दिस, विच मीन्स अगर तुम्हारे SSO सिस्टम प्रॉपरली वैलिडेट नहीं करते ईमेल एड्रेसेस को, सो एनीवन हु गेन्स एक्सेस टू Zendesk could potentially exploit this and access your internal systems. That's what he's saying. Maybe you get a two-factor code in your @company.com this, and everything is forwarded to Zendesk. So something like that. Okay, you can get those via the Zendesk. I'll explain more on this later. Okay, we'll see. Email spoofing. At the beginning of the year, I discovered a serious vulnerability in Zendesk that allowed hackers to read customer support tickets from any company using Zendesk. Okay, all they had to do was send a crafted email to a support email handled by Zendesk. The shocking part, Zendesk didn't seem to care. The work itself was surprisingly simple. Zendesk had no effective protection against email spoofing, and this oversight made it possible to exploit their email collaboration feature to gain access to others' tickets. Here's how it worked. When you send an email to a company's Zendesk support portal, support@company.com, Zendesk creates a new support ticket to keep track of the email thread. Zendesk automatically generates a reply to address which looks like this: support plus ID, bracket ID @company.com, where ID is the unique ticket number. This address ensures that any future replies go silent. Okay, so they are using that plus thing to segregate the emails, but they have only one email, support@company.com, right? Zendesk also has a feature for ticket collaboration. If you CC someone, carbon copy someone on one of your email replies, Zendesk automatically adds them to the ticket, allowing them to see the full ticket history in the support portal. The exploit was simple. If an attacker knew the support email address and the ticket ID, which are usually easy to guess since ticket IDs are incremental, okay, so what will happen? You create a thing and you check what was the last one, and you can just make a guess, I guess. So you create one genuine one, and then you create another one, and this will be +1. I think it's a whole GUID kind of thing, not GUIDs, but I think it's just incremental numbers. Okay, that's a problem, I think. Okay, by sending a Zendesk also, okay, to exploit was simple. If an attacker knew the support email address and the ticket ID, which was usually easy to guess since ticket ID, they could use the email spoofing to impersonate the original sender. By sending a fake email to support from the requester's email address and CCing their own email, Zendesk would think the email was legitimate. Would then add the attacker's email to the ticket, giving them full access to the entire ticket history. This meant an attacker could effectively join any ongoing support conversation and read sensitive information, all because Zendesk did not have proper safeguards against email spoofing. So basically, तुम requester के email address से अपना email CC करके you fire an email, fake email, right? And then Zendesk will automatically add you to the thread. That's interesting. My question is, how exactly is he spoofing the emails? That's interesting. Like यार तुम रिक्वेस्टर के ईमेल एड्रेस से कैसे तुम वो करोगे, फेक ईमेल कैसे सेंड करोगे? That's थिंग. रिक्वेस्टर के ईमेल तुम्हें चाहिए होगा. टिकट आईडी, Zendesk, and attacker could brute force or estimate it. Okay, fair. Access to public support portal. Good. As soon as I discovered this vulnerability, I reported the Zendesk bug bounty, fully expecting to seriously and if later was disappointing response. Because my bug relied on email spoofing, which was considered out of scope for the hackathon program. The rejected report was unbelievable. This source wasn't even from an actual Zendesk team member. Many companies Zendesk have used a hackathon service to triage reports so their own team can focus on fixing bugs. Instead of verifying submissions regarding this, I asked the support to be forwarded to actual Zendesk. Today, I got another frustrating reply. Thank you for your report and following discussion regarding support ticket email spoofing vulnerability. As because my, sorry, our call आ गया था. So let's be back. Because my bug relied on email spoofing, which was considered out of scope. Yeah, we were there. Ineligible issues sections in the root cause of was email spoofing by bypassing those email authentication protocols. It fails squarely. Stand okay. Zendesk refused to escalating this to a full stack takeover. Would have reported this email spoofing bug to individual companies that were affected by it, as it was possible to patch individual instances by disabling email collaboration, preventing attackers from adding themselves to tickets. But I wanted to make a bigger impact. Okay, so the thing is, some companies may you can spoof their email. If I'm thinking of this right, this one came across Ticket Trick, blog post from security researcher in day. Clear. I am not sure how to pronounce it, but I hope it didn't butcher the name. I'm sorry. Detailed how he exploited Zendesk to infiltrate the private Slack workspace of hundreds of companies. Since many companies use Slack as so same domain as Zendesk. The researcher figured out that he could complete email verification through a support at company.com email and gain access to private Slack channels. Back then, Zendesk wasn't a big. There were some bugs that allowed anyone to view your tickets if they had your email. I could replicate this exploit using my bug, but with a few challenges too. After his disclosure, Slack changed their email verification system, random token and email addresses. Okay. In its exploit, like mine, required the attacker to know the sending email address of the verification code. Slack added random tokens to their email address to combat similar attacks in the future. It was impossible to know what email they would send the verification email from. One of the prerequisites required for my exploit, as they generated a random token every time unless. Okay, so not getting it from it. No, I'm not getting it. Okay. So basically what is saying is you need to know the email addresses of the support, whatever support thing is coming, right? And if you support that, so what is happening in a nutshell is, so you have this Zendesk server right here. So you have this support at company.com. So there it is. So ये तुम्हारा एक server है, and you have this. So the user will just do a forward here. So user will mail, and this will drop into this place. I think this is forwarded to Zendesk, and this is forwarded to Zendesk. Now the reply that comes, so there is a reply, I think. So the reply that comes, it is coming via Zendesk through the support company email. So should look like something like this. So this, and then this back to the user, and there are a random set of characters so that you just cannot guess it. That's what I'm thinking of it, how it's going on. While Slack used a random email token while sending, and neither Google or Apple did. Slack supported both methods for OAuth login. Okay. It was most simple bypass. Slack introduced OAuth login just a few years ago and must have completely forgotten about protections against these types of attacks. So now the exploit was simple. Create a Google account with a support at a company.com email, request verification code. Okay, request verification code, use my bug to access the ticket Zendesk automatically creates when it arrives. Verify Google account, log in with Google to start. That's crazy, bro. That's like so genius, to be honest. So this guy is just creating a support. So अगर तुम्हें नहीं पता, Gmail पे तुम किसी भी email server के ID से login कर सकते हो. To create a Google account, it doesn't have to be a Gmail account at gmail.com. You can use any email server. So तुम उसे डालते हो and you have to just enter a verification code. So the verification code gets to Zendesk and you can use that. You can get that thread back. Oh my god. Except it wouldn't work with Google. Google sent verification email from no reply at google.com and Zendesk had started blocking emails from no reply at addresses from being automatically created at tickets. But ticket disclosure too, which meant we wouldn't be able. Apple did not do this though. Apple sent verification emails from Apple ID at address jackpot. Execute attack was now simple. Create an Apple account, email and request verification code. Apple sends a verification code from Apple ID at id.apple.com to support at company.com and Zendesk automatically creates a ticket. At the same time, create a ticket on company.com support portal from my own email address. We will keep track of the ID range. Okay, just to get that random ID. Use the email spoofing bug I mentioned earlier to attempt to add yourself to every ticket from within the range earlier. Okay. Support plus ID. That is crazy, bro. You can just send spoofed emails. I did not know this. I was thinking there's some bug to do it. But you can just specify a from thing and just send it. That is crazy, bro. I spent about a week reporting the vulnerability to individual companies. Some of them took immediate action, patched other instances, while others argued that it was Zendesk issue. Then something interesting happened. A comment about a hacker post. We kindly hi the hacker Mondef. We kindly request you to keep this report between you and Zendesk. We received tickets from customers regarding this issue mentioning you, and it has caused unnecessary communications on our end. They state that you were able to use this vulnerability to gain access to Slack instance, but you have not provided that detail to us. Could you share your ticket trick? POC demonstrating this regarding the. Oh my god, they bent. That's funny. Now you fucking rejected it. You knew the bug, right? Just patch it now. Why do you need the details now, bro? It's already known. I couldn't help it but find it amusing. They were now asking me to keep report the confidence by having a teacher dismissed it out of scope. Some companies must have contacted Zendesk after receiving my report, and pressure from this issue had essentially forced Zendesk's hands. I had mentioned the Slack exploit in my original report to them. I hadn't discovered it at that point. Now they wanted a full detailed reproduction steps for the Slack takeover. I provided the proof of concept for the Slack vulnerability and they confirmed the issue. Though they claimed they had started working on a fix, it would take them over 2 months to resolve it. Once company is vulnerable to this vulnerability, one of them quickly disables Zendesk email collaboration feature to protect their instances. Over the course of my reporting, I earned more than 50 grand in bounties from individual companies on HackerOne and other platforms. Unsurprisingly, Zendesk didn't come out of this looking good. At least one of the two companies reportedly got tied with Zendesk after my disclosure. Oh my god, that's crazy, bro. How much it cost them? 2 months later, after submitted the reports and they finally confirmed that they had fixed the issue, there's a statement from the offensive security leader. Okay. They did not even mention him. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's very good. This kid is insane. जब मैं 15 साल का था guys, then I was still using Turbo C++ for my school projects. But whatever, bro. People are better. Yeah. I think we'll wrap this up today with this. And do let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. अगर मुझे ऐसे और videos करने चाहिए, and definitely this will keep on going more if you guys love it. So subscribe. See you again.